Good morning and welcome to our webinar. This is preparing our mid-year, doing our mid-year checkup. We're going to prepare for our quarter three and our quarter four generator installation and service contract lead flow, and our overall strategy going into the next 6 months, and hopefully pre-positioning yourself for the win in 2026. Right? We want to get ourselves seeing it over top of our competition on Google, primarily Google Maps, and hopefully get leads in from a whole bunch of other channels. So I'm going to cover that all today. Let's going to get through that real quick. So this is what we're going to cover today. All right, we're going to cover the biggest changes and shifts in marketing, in the marketing landscape, and how to remain on the cutting edge. I'm just going to just got to grab my Zoom chat. There we go. Feel free to chat with me if you have any questions. I have that on my screen. Sorry, I'm just a little derailed at the moment. Participants, here we go. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I was distracted by that. Okay. So, yeah, what we're going to cover today, our biggest challenges, changes and shifts in the market. 7 marketing channels that you must be tapping into to maximize your lead flow. We are going to talk about goals too, and we're going to talk about how to get these leads in the door, in the right places. So 5 lead conversion leaks that are slowing your growth and maybe killing your ROI, especially if you're putting money into marketing. How to become the best known generator and in your market. And we're also going to cover the accelerated growth model. So this is basically the model that we're following on a day-to-day, month in, month out basis. Okay, just a little bit about me, who I am, and why should you listen to me? I'm not an electrician. I'm a marketer by trade. I've been doing this for over 20 years in the marketing space, digital design, creative type of stuff. I have worked directly with more than 50 generator dealers across the country. I've spoken at mastermind cohort events for electricians. I've also spoken at the NEGDA event just a couple weeks ago in Princeton, New Jersey. In case you don't know what NEGDA is, it is the National Emergency Generator Dealer Association, and they're based in here in the Northeast. And now we have a specialized digital marketing agency specifically for generator dealers. We're also a member of EXA. This is my executive team. Our mission is to help 100 generator dealers double or maybe triple their revenue. We are doing content creation, web design, web development, Google profile management, lead flow build up, pay-per-click campaigns on a day-to-day basis, specifically for generator dealers. We have built and designed websites and run marketing campaigns and strategies for generator dealers across the country. Although we're not affiliated yet, we have a lot of brand knowledge with Kohler's Co-op and Generac PowerPlay, Generac's Co-op, working with all of these different brands to make sure that you're maximizing your co-op spend on a regular basis. We're not leaving money on the table, using that money in the right places. Super important. So that's basically it. That's my only pitch. So I want to just kind of check in and let's reflect, right, on the first half of the year. So let's maybe mark in what our current snapshot looks like. So for the first half of the year, where have you been? Okay, so let's actually write down on paper how many installs have you actually completed, and how many leads do you think did you need in order to get those jobs? Whether they're referral leads or web leads or internet marketing leads or even leads from friends or Facebook, things like that, or even referrals from current customers. It doesn't matter. A lead is a lead. We want to try to hone in on what that conversion rate is, because that's going to help us understand how many leads we need to get in order to reach the goals that we want to reach. Same thing goes for service contracts, okay? How many service contracts did you get in the first 6 months? And how many leads or jobs, maybe jobs, but still, installing a generator is still a lead to a service contract. You can separate it this way. You can also do this, and I would recommend doing this for your electrical services too, if you do them as well. And let's put in your total revenue, okay? Let's look at how much total revenue you've brought in for the first 6 months of the year, for the first half of the year. Because what we're going to really do and what we really want to do is set our goals for the rest of the year. And then hopefully that will take us into 2026. And then we can set a full year's goal for the year of 2026. And let's get through some of this stuff so that we can try to really help get you there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set very clear goals for the next 6 months and beyond. And I've got a great spreadsheet that you can use for this. Basically, what this is going to help you position yourself, actually create the right budget, create the right spend, and put it in the right places in order to maximize your budget and get the most bang for your buck. Okay, so let's say, for example, we want $1 million in revenue over the next, well, let's say 500,000, right? So let's say we want to make $1 million for the whole year. So we need another 500 grand. It's $83,000 a month in revenue that you need to cover in order to hit those goals. Okay, so how much is that? Okay, so how many customers is $83,000? Well, if your average installation is 15 grand, you only need six, right? You need six customers to cover that $83,000 revenue. Now, if you want $500,000 more for the year, this is how many more you need on top of your existing. Okay, so it is good to know exactly what you want to get on a monthly basis. Let's say you just want this 500 grand for the year, which is about six installs per month to get you that 500 grand for the next 6 months. Okay, now this is where we come back to this conversion rate. Okay, so 33% conversion rate. So you're converting 1 out of 3 leads that are coming in on a regular basis, whether they be referral, internet marketing, or whatever. Now the conversion rate is going to vary from lead type to lead type, right? We all know that power play leads, the generic power play leads, are not as great, and you might be converting maybe 5%. So in order to convert one of those, you need five leads. Okay, so 1 out of 5 will convert into a customer. So if we need six, that means we need 30 power play leads in order to get to our 83,000 mark. Okay. But we don't want to just sit there and wait for PowerPlay to send us these leads, because sometimes they're not going to send us 30 leads in a single month. So we need to focus. Okay, so we need to focus on these 7 channels that I'm going to break out for you today. This spreadsheet, you can use this. Just make a copy, and you can update this however you want. This belongs to you. There are other tabs in there that we're going to get into. The first tab here is your marketing budget planner. Okay, so you're going to break down the money that you want, and you're going to give yourself a percentage and say, I want to spend some money. This is how much money I want to spend to market my business and put it into these lead channels and see what can come out of all these different leads, right? The question is, how much do you spend? So unfortunately, you need to spend money to make money. That means whether you're putting money into ads, or you're putting money into an agency, or hiring somebody to help you find things, or even putting your logo on a diner placemat. This is all going to be very important to getting these leads to operate. Even for referral business, you have to spend a little bit of money to reach out to somebody and get referrals. Sometimes it comes for free, right? Sometimes it comes quick, but you can't rely on this. This is an unreliable source of business. So we have to make sure that we're doing something about it, being proactive, putting money out there so that you can get leads on a more regular basis from multiple places. Okay, so here's what we do. We're looking at 5% spend. Okay, this is a minimum. This is minimum. So let's say 5% of our $1 million for the year is 50 grand. So you put 50 grand for the entire year into marketing, but you cannot do this in a single month. You can't say, run my ads. Here's 50 grand, run my ads, get me $1 million business. That sounds simple. It's hardly simple. So what you have to do is you have to spread this money out, this spend out over the course of 12 months. Even when it comes to marketing, all of those customers are not there in a given month. They are there over the course of a year. So whether that be storms, upcoming storms, existing blackouts, necessary blackouts, unnecessary blackouts, whatever, or people just searching, wanting to increase the value of their home or wanting to have that security, or they have oxygen and things like that in their home that they must have generators for. So this is the kind of thing that you have to be ready for. So you have to pre-position yourself, okay, for all of these events over the course of the year. Okay, so here's what this spreadsheet does. This is beautiful. So we want to make a suggestion and allocate 80% of your total spend to online marketing. Then we want to allocate 15% to offline marketing, okay, which could be postcards, it could be signage, it could be wrapping your trucks, it could be um, it could be working on those diner placemats, things like that. And then 5% to referral business, right? So how do you put money into referral business? Well, this could be a variation of ways of doing some email marketing. You need some software for that. You can hire somebody to call up some of your customers. You can hire somebody to clean up your CRM and reach out to customers, things like that. Even referral business, referral-based lead flow will need to have uh, some kind of spend involved. Okay, it's not always just, oh, let's just wait for referrals. You can actually have to make that happen. Even when it comes to getting reviews, right? You have to make that happen. Sometimes there's software that you can use for that. So once those numbers are all punched in, you have your total money marketing budget for the year. And don't forget your co-op spend either, because that's going to factor in it somehow. And here's where you're spending your money. Okay. Now, here's the full month of where you need to spend your money. And here's a breakdown of how much money per month, $3,333.33 per month for online marketing, 625 bucks for offline marketing per month, and $208.33 for referral-based marketing on a monthly basis, which is actually perfect because if you get some email marketing software, it'll cost you about 200 bucks to manage about 10,000 contacts. Let's say Constant Contact is your software of choice for email marketing. That's actually what you're gonna see, what you're gonna end up spending. It's about 200 bucks per month to do that. So works out good. Okay, moving on. The next tab is actually going to break this down a little further, or it might be a little bit lower. What we really need to figure out is where we're going to spend our money on online marketing, because there are multiple facets and there are multiple areas of lead flow where you can get leads. So it's important to know that you have to put money in different places in order to get the lead flow from these places. So we recommend 60% on search engine optimization. This is the biggest part of where this is investing in yourself. This is investing in your business, in your website, in the content that you put out, in the information that is up there, because you know what? The AI engines are reading your site, they're reading your content. Google and Bing, all these search engines are reading your site and your content. The more frequently you do that, the better the content is, the higher the quality it is, the more you're going to rank, and the more people are going to find you, because we have proof that people are searching on Google Maps and they're searching on Google to look for you for installing a generator or servicing their generator. They're not calling their best friend that they know have a generator for their information. They're not looking for Google ads to find you. They're not searching through Facebook to find your company. Oh, where's that ad that they were running? I saw an ad on Facebook a week ago. Where is it? And they're searching through the feed. It doesn't work that way. So they're just going to go to Google and do a search. Okay, 70% of the leads for generator installations are running a search on Google. So important to put the majority of your money in SEO. 35% paid search. Paid search, take that budget, put it into Google ads, put it into some Facebook ads, run that on a continuous basis. Okay, that activity will also fluctuate. Um, and I'll get into a little bit of that, but most important to know, you want to run Google search ads because when people are searching, you need to be up top. And then display and retargeting, very small piece of that, maybe 166 bucks per month to run software for retargeting campaigns. This is basically a campaign that once somebody visits your website and then they just start to see you in different areas on the internet, and then your ad pops up, and this is retargeting. Okay, this is that famous my phone's listening because I was just talking about a generator. Now I'm seeing their ads. Not exactly. They're not exactly listening, but circumstances will show your ad based on their engagement, their their content, their communication. So retargeting is a must. But here is your layout. This is your budget. This is your spend. This is where you want to spend your money, you know, and this is super important, and why is this so important? Well, here, I have a slide for that, why it's so important. Marketing is going to make or break your business. So we might as well set it up to make your business. It is a major investment. Okay. It's a big piece of your investment. You want to make sure you're doing it right. Make sure you have a return so you don't still have parked trucks and an empty schedule during the busy season. This is most important during the busy season. So the opportunity, we're going to nail our marketing, get it done right, consistently convert visitors to callers, have a full schedule with installation jobs, build momentum, and have consistent growth as you continue to build on the SEO and run paid search and kind of just dial in on this entire marketing strategy with all possible lead channels coming in aside from the printed stuff and the offsite marketing. This is where it's at in terms of lead flow. Here's the Google search engine result page. So this is what you see when you do a Google search. Okay, there are four places on the Google search where you can show up, and each one of them is handled differently, done differently, and managed with different strategies and effort. Local search or your local service ads. This is Google guaranteed. This is something that you might or might not want have had a good experience with. If you're a generator only dealer, maybe not do it. We haven't seen tremendous success with local service ads, specifically for the restore power category. But it is there available, and keep an eye on it because LSA might change some things up, as brownouts continue to occur. And then we've got the Google Ads sponsored. Comes up on top, above the map, above the search. That's your paid search. You want to be there when people are searching. You want to be right there in that spot. Okay. And then we've got the local pack. Here's our maps. You want to be in the top three. Not the fourth one, not the fifth one. There's a lot of competition out there. So we want to make sure that you're in that top three area. And then here's your organic search. So hopefully, if you've got your local pack dialed in, your organic search will be pretty dialed in too. So this is kind of like a twofer. So the effort and the energy you put in for Google Maps will help you with the organic. There are more things you could do for organic, and I'll get into that. But primarily, you want to be right here because this is also where people are searching on Google Maps. They're looking for somebody close by, especially when it comes to service. They don't want to get a company that's 2 hours away. They want to get a company that's nearby. Now it'll also depend. Now, once you get people that are now searching for somebody nearby, they are going to go a little further out, depending on what your profile looks like, depending if there's people there, depending on your reviews. Okay, so now there are factors in play that are going to get you the business further out from where these people live. Okay, and we're going to talk about all of that strategy as we go. But this is very important, and we know this. We know that 71% of all leads are clicking in this green area. They're not even clicking the ads. That's our 30%. That's our 29%. Maybe our 20% are clicking within those ads. So it's important to get yourself dialed in this area. I'm going to get into how we do that. Not just that, but 67% of those clicks are now clicking only in the top 5. Right? They're not going any further than that. These 3 are enough. So you got 3 to pick from. We don't need to get any further. Make sure that there's reviews. Make sure that you're looking good. And that's just kind of what people do. So moving on, I do have a workbook that you can download. This is basically our strategy workbook from January. It's gonna apply here today because we are gonna make this work for your business, and we're gonna just go through it. I'm gonna run through all of these details, how you need to position yourself, how you got to get these 7 channels of lead flow working, how you can build this lead flow and have this momentum and continued growth over time. So download that workbook, get through it. There's a lot of checklists. I'm going to go through it right now. Okay, so the first thing here, inside this workbook, there's a 2-page checklist here to make sure that all 7 channels are dialed in. So you can check these off as you have them down, and let's make sure that you do it the right way. right? So the first thing we want to do, we want to focus on your website. Okay. Your website is your hub. This is where everybody goes to look, learn about you, find out what you do, see the work that you've been doing, read about reviews, things like that. Even referral business will go to your website to review all of this stuff. So make sure your website looks great, functions great, mobile responsive, all that stuff. Let's blow into it. Um, and what's most important in your website is conversion. Okay. So the most important part about your website is to make sure that this person that comes to your site can communicate with you their way. So they want to communicate with you via phone, via text, via SMS text message, via form on your website. Having those kind of things will help with conversion. Okay. Conversion is super important. All right. And I have a slide for this. So why is conversion so important, right? Scenario one, we have 500 visitors per month, and we're getting 5% conversion, which turns out to be about 25 calls and leads. And if we're converting at that 30, 1 out of 3 range, we're at 7.5 book service contracts. Boom, we hit our $1 million for the month. Okay, so now we're going to update the website. We're going to increase conversion. What happens when we increase conversion from 5% to 15%? We didn't change the number of visitors coming to the site. All we did was update the site so it converts better. So it's got more ways for people to convert. It has all of those different options to help pull them over the line, right? So primarily mobile responsive. How does your website look on mobile? Do it right now. Look at your website on mobile and see, you know, can you navigate? Can you communicate? Is it what you do, where you do it right away? One of the biggest things that I see wrong with generator dealer websites is that it says, we install generators. We're the best in the business. Call now. It doesn't even say where. It doesn't even give the area that they're in, right? It doesn't even give the brand. I mean, people are more in tune to the brands that they're installing on a regular basis. Even if you service or install all brands, Generac, Kohler, Briggs and Stratton, put it all on your website and make sure that you say in the Houston area or Houston, Texas, Kohler, Generac, Briggs, installations and service contracts available. Call now. Boom, done. And make sure that there's a phone call, there's a phone number, there's a form, and there's a chat bubble. Call or text. That's the way to increase your conversion. And that's the fastest thing you could do right now is triple your conversion rate so that you can triple your revenue. Just as an example, here's an old website. Just an old website, and we got something wrong with the phone number up there. Some ugly kitchen curtains or whatever. We want to show a picture, show your team, get a quote, phone number, the brand, New Jersey's generator experts. This is a big change in their website. Okay, so what happened from there is that we tracked from a very low conversion rate to now 16.5% without increasing the traffic. This is kind of a big change inside of a month. All of a sudden now we're converting because people hitting this website didn't really, this isn't what I'm looking for. I was looking for generators. I was looking for some service on my generator and whatever. It wasn't even there. Services, staff, gallery, testimonials. Now it's all here. And now we're converting at a much higher rate. Okay, so here's some critical elements to enhance this conversion. Be real and authentic. Can't stress this enough. Get pictures of your team, get pictures of your truck, get it out there, put it on your website, put it throughout the site. The owner with one of the technicians, get some video together. Do some video on how to check your oil in the generator, how to start it up, how to shut it down, how to run a warm up or whatever it is that you want to put it on there. Put it on your website. This will help with SEO. That will help build your authority in this line of work. And if people can see who it is behind the scenes at your company, they're more likely to relate to you. And yeah, I want to work with that guy and call you up. Leverage your social proof, get all your testimonials on there, get your reviews. There's software that can put them onto your site just like that. And you can just kind of swipe through, you can read through. And don't just paste these on your site. Don't copy and paste the text. Make sure that this is a live feed. Make sure that these are updating on a regular basis. This is really the best way to do it because people are giving you reviews on your Google profile. You don't want to have to now check down on where those reviews are going. The fundamentals need to be right. Very basic stuff. phone number in the top right corner, a link to get your to check out the reviews. This is like, hey, this is we're good. Here's our proof. Okay, here's our phone number, so you can click to link it. Here's our team, top rated, quality focused, price for you, things that you can put on here to get, to get people like, yeah, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Talk to your demographic a little bit, and use an offer. Use an offer on your site, a platinum maintenance program, 10% off. This will help get them over the line. Change the offer on different pages. Don't just run the service offer on your installation page, because people are interested in install. So give them a discount for installing. They will definitely come to you and say, I saw an offer on your website. I'd like you to honor that. So stuff you can put on there. Make sure it's mobile friendly. Got a lot of details on why you have to do that. We are seeing 80% and upwards of 80% on mobile responsive lead flow. So that's kind of where it's at. Make sure that there's a very simple click to call. Click the phone number, click the phone icon, what you do, where you do it, link to your reviews. That's most important on your mobile devices. And then let it scroll. It's okay that it scrolls. Consider live chat. I know this is hard to do for some of you guys, but you can always have that fake live chat with a form on there. People will actually look at the live chat and say, "Oh yeah, let me do that," and then they'll fill out the form. It'll just say, "Oh, somebody will get back to you as soon as possible." Um, Not as effective, but if you have a call or text, or a text option, you can put it right there. Text us at this number. Somebody's going to respond to you right away, and that sometimes could just go to the owner. Let the owner do it. I'm sure you would want to do that if you're a smaller generator dealer, and you're always out in the field. You're installing generators, and people are just texting you, "Hey, I'm interested," and you could just text back. This is the best way to communicate nowadays. It's very simple, and you can take your time. Uh, so. Very important. 5 to 10% visitors to your website take action. Uh, that's a very small part. 90% of visitors leave without calling. So if you had that call or text, or if you had that chat widget, you might be able to change that conversion rate. They're in the market for your services, so they just got to your website. So make sure that there's all these different ways for them to communicate. One of the other issues too is that we've got ChatGPT, generative engine optimization, and answer engine optimization happening, and it's a big disruptor. Okay, so want to make sure that when you're searching on Google, that the AI overview is presenting All American Electric in Delaware as the result for AI. We're looking very closely at how AI responds. This is all comes down to the content on your website. Here's a ChatGPT response for the best generator dealers in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So you want to make sure that you've got things in place and you have content in line so that your result is right on point. So SEO still matters. You can't rely on pay-per-click alone. Now, here's why the map listings are most important. Okay, so we have an example here at Matlock Electric, and they are, as we can see from our tracking software, they are number one in all of these different areas. This is a 65, 75-mile radius. They're number one search company in all of these different areas. And, you know, not aside from what the ranking software is telling us, we're actually seeing it in their actual lead flow. Okay, so from 176 leads out of 1,600 sessions. It's an 11% conversion rate. We're seeing the majority of their leads are coming from the Google Business Profile. This is the Google Maps search result. This is Google Ads. This is Facebook. This is website SEO. So this could even be referrals and search traffic, things like that, which this is a high number too. So the website and the Google profile are top of the line, the number one place where you need to be getting your leads. And if all your leads come from this side, that means you're missing out on a very big piece of this. Here's another example for All American Electric in Delaware. They are number one on this whole Delmarva Peninsula. And them too. Out of 120 leads, we are seeing 46 of their Google Business Profile lead flow and 40 in their website. 3 Google ads, 21 Facebook ads, 21 Facebook leads. But here is the lion's share of leads. So happening in Delaware, happening in Arkansas, it's happening in California, it's happening in Texas, Michigan, Connecticut. This is where the lead flow is, your Google Maps and SEO. So it's important to dial this in. So the question is, how do we do this? Okay, so inside that downloaded book is all the keywords and a little bit of instructions on how you can get into this. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to focus on these particular keywords because this is what we know in terms of how everybody ranks. You need to build this into your site, right? Even commercial. Generator installation page, need to make sure you focus on those keywords, make sure it's good content, make sure you got good pictures. Pictures need to have proper tagging, things like that. And you can even do this, run this same exercise for your other services that you offer, maybe electrical panels, and also build in your local pages. So where do you want to rank? There's this town and there's such high income housing in this one particular town, let's say Windsor, Connecticut, or here's Yuma, Louisiana. We want to rank there because there's higher income or whatever, but we're not ranking there. So let's build a page. Let's focus on Yuma, Louisiana. Let's focus on the jobs that we've done there. Let's display them on the site. Let's write some good content. Make sure we're using the keywords and build this page out on the website. Don't just do it once, do it consistently over time. And then write a blog. Power when you need it most. Standby generators for the Gulf Coast. This is just a random blog. Who's going to read it? We're not really sure, but we know that Google will read it. We know that the AIs will read it, and we know that it's good content. It's got images and it's got some benefits all written on there. And it also mentions who to hire in case you need a generator. So blog posts are very important when it comes to creating content. Digital check-ins, make your techs help out with this, okay? Put software on their phones. This is hyperlocal content for check-ins, okay? They get software on their phones. They go out to the job, install a generator, take a picture, post it, mid-cycle checkup on a Kohler 30 RCL, and it displays on your website. And now we also have the opportunity to ask the customer for a review. This is great software. Up here, nearby now, is the software. Install this on all of your technicians' devices. And it also gives us a nice heat map on your service area page to make sure that people, when they're browsing, they hit your website and they say, oh, look, they will come out to Talksbury there. I see that they got a little light there. So I wasn't sure if they were close enough. Maybe I'll call them because they got a spot there. You never know. This could help with conversion. We know it helps with ranking. It might help with conversion too. So check these boxes off. This is your SEO and ranking. Is your website optimized for search engine ranking? Go through these check boxes. Make sure that you're all situated there. Now, off-page SEO. This is not off-site. This is not offline SEO. This is off-page SEO that you can do off your website. Okay, your Google Business Profile is the biggest one, and citation management. This is basically your business profile on Yahoo, Yelp, MapQuest, all these different places that will actually list your company. You may not even know it, that Yelp has a profile on your company, but it definitely does. And also getting reviews through Google. So this is all the SEO that you can do off your website. Claim and optimize that Google profile listing. Make sure it's on there. Make sure you have all the details. Here's your dashboard. You can edit your profile, upload pictures, all that fun stuff. Google Business Profile best practices. So here's some of the great stuff that you should be doing with that. Update your photos, add them on a consistent basis, not just a one and done. It's not just a profile, but it's important to have this automated. Sorry, not automated, but consistently added on a regular basis. Leverage Google Posts by posting at least once every 90 days. We actually do it much more frequently than that, maybe twice a week. I have to update this slide. 90 days, once every couple of weeks, a couple of times a week. Respond to your reviews. Make sure you have a reply in there for every review that comes in, 5-star, 1-star. Make sure you respond. Answer questions that get posted. You could even seed some of your own questions, put them in there. Now, building citations consistency with your name, address, phone. This is basically all of these different websites are displaying your business information. Your information needs to be accurate. This helps Google give you better ranking if you've got all of these links coming into your website from all of these uh, bigger companies. Okay, so there's software for this. You can use any of these pieces of software to help you with those citations and making it automatic to make sure that your business information is posted properly through these business aggregators that spiders it down to everybody that displays your business information. Um, for example, there's Moz Local. You can go to this link and then punch in your name, address, phone number in here, and then it'll give you a report kind of like this that'll say, oh, 88% inaccurate listings. It'll tell you Foursquare doesn't even have your profile. It'll tell you that Facebook has your name and address, but not your phone number. White Pages has your name and address, but not your phone number, things like that. And then you can just get a mild, uh, a mild software subscription to help get all of that taken care of. Then focus on your reviews, okay? Big, very, very important. Get your reviews. This is if you didn't do anything but this, you will still benefit. There are strategies for driving consistent reviews. You can leverage tools that will automatically reach out to customers after you complete a job to get their review. You can leave a printed review card on the job. You can train your text to plant the seed. Hey, listen, thanks for doing business with us. I just want to let you know that somebody from our office is going to give you a call, ask you for a review. If you wouldn't mind setting up a testimonial for us on Google, somebody from the office will call you and give you the details. That kind of thing, just to kind of give them a heads up. Make a call after the service call, walk them through that review process, build reviews and recognition into your company culture. So make sure that everybody knows that we need reviews. Help get them on a consistent basis, even incentivize them a little bit. And there's software that you can build out to help you with that. So home services, Bird Eye, Customer Lobby, all hook into Service Titan that will send out a request for review once the job is completed. This is very common. So if you use Service Titan or House Call Pro or any of these different types of software, you can hook up this other software to ask for these reviews and then even display them on your website. So Bird Eye actually has software. Bird Eye will ask the customer for the review, get it, display it on your website, and respond via AI. So Bird Eye is a good result for that, a good solution for that. 4 or 5 star reviews help because they have keywords in those reviews that helps with keyword ranking. Increases the number of conversion, right? So people will see those reviews. It will help bring them over the line. So it's a two-factor. One, it helps convince somebody to hire you, and two, it helps with the Google ranking signals to give you better ranking. The more Google reviews you have, the more ranking you will get. And it makes a business appear more credible. I mean, that goes without saying. So, I mean, why wouldn't you just consistently just get this on a regular basis? This is very important. So, check off what you got in terms of local optimization and offsite SEO. Make sure that you've got this all dialed in. It's in that book. Now, before we get into paid search, I do want to say that we need to have a foundation built in. You cannot take your budget and throw $5,000 into Google Ads. A lot of guys will tell me, I've done Google Ads. I spent like 5 grand and nothing really came out of it. Okay, but your website's awful. Like, was that the website that you were running when you were running Google Ads? This is not good. You can't send the traffic to your business if your business is not in good shape. So you need that organic foundation. You need a good website, mobile friendly, great service pages listed out, service area, what you do, where you do it, and all of those conversion tactics in place before you put money into Google ads and Facebook ads and all of that stuff. Once you have that foundation played in, then you can do some paid search, local service ads. Make sure that you've got proper layout on your website when Google ads are running to your website. Worst thing you want to do is put some money out there so people can click on your ads and then go to a shit website, a bad website, only to not convert. You're just wasting money. After that, then you could run retargeting automation because now they visited your website. You want them to keep coming back. You want to keep showing your brand. So very important that you have that running. Here's where we stop. Get all of this dialed in. Your website, your paid search, your remarketing, everything's running great. Now we have a little bit of extra money. Let's put into paid directories like Angie's or pay per lead. there's there's networks, there's a lot of software and companies out there that will help you with paid lead directories. And then after that, way after that, focus on some branding marketing within social media, running some YouTube ads, running some TikTok, YouTube, things like that, that can help build your brand. This stuff is not going to be a tremendous amount of leads in your lead flow, but it is top of the line in terms of exposing your brand and getting you more visibility. When you've got the money and when these are all properly set, there's your foundation. Now, local service ads, this is our very top. Like I said, this is Google guaranteed. That basically means that Google will cover some of the loss if something goes sideways. So there's a background check and all other stuff they get into. Like I said, not great for generator dealers alone. Google Ads. Now, why most Google ad campaigns fail is you set up one Google ad group and for all of your services. You don't use specific text ads that are keyword specific and landing pages for your group of keywords, and you have no strong call to action or an offer on that landing page. Okay, so the other thing too is just get all of your ads running, pointing to your homepage, and that's it. We want to structure our campaign as such. We want to create a campaign for generator installation and an ad group for standby, generator service, repair, OEM, renewals, generator inspection service, things like that, and then create another campaign for your electrical services and a brand campaign for generators, general electrical services, EV charges, things like that for your brand. Start here, generator installation and service, create those ad groups, and then make sure you have a landing page to send them to. Don't send them to your homepage. Send them to a landing page that's well thought out. We have the $500 off offer, right? That helps get them over the line. We're saying, hey, a free estimate. Oh, that'll even help them more. Over 70 reviews. This company's actually over 300 now. Over 70 reviews, 5-star, and 100% financing is available. Here's our form. Here's our phone number. Call now, fill out the form, and then we want a chat widget right here. Call or text. This makes it a very compelling offer. This makes it easy to convert. Maximized. And have the brand logo on here too. You want to represent Generac, or Kohler, or Briggs & Stratton, whatever it is you do, and a picture of your team in the background. That's amazing. That's amazing. That hits all the points, that passes the smell test, that gets somebody in the door. If they're clicking on your ad and they're seeing this page, they're going to click to call or fill out that form. It's almost 100%. So don't even think about spending another penny until you have conversion tracking in place. So this is something very important that you want to do, is make sure that everything is tracked. I'll get that in a second. Here's your checklist for that. Don't sleep on social media. Facebook's very important. You want to have that in place. Facebook, more repeat business, more referrals. People will chat about you. People will share your content, especially if you're hooked up to some mom groups, things like that. So make sure that you've gone through this checklist. Leverage email marketing. And, real quick, is lead flow even the problem? You're getting a lot of leads, but you're not really converting, and there's something wrong with that piece of the puzzle. This is like the short game of golf. Okay, this is the game within the game. Okay, this is after the leads are coming in. How are you handling? How are you facilitating? What does the follow-up process look like? The problem is 50 to 60% of inbound leave unconverted. And 97% of web forms will fail to convert because they fill out the form and then you're following up. How are you following up? 90% are failing to convert. So some of what we've experienced and why that might be is that if you don't follow up within 15 minutes, that lead will go cold. They've already gone to somebody else, and you can pretty much just forget about it. The average customers be followed up 5 to 7 times before booking. These are touch points. So you want to make sure that you get them on the phone right away and get them booked. And then have a process in place following up with them prior to the booking. Consistently communicating with them lets them know that they've chosen the right company, and it'll kind of stop them from bringing in anybody else because you're doing all the communication. They can trust that you're going to be there, okay? And they don't need to follow up with anybody else. They prefer to interact via text message too. So text them, use text messaging, right? You do the initial call, schedule the estimate, now send them text message updates on when their appointment is and that you're looking forward to it. And then here's some things to think about ahead of our call, stuff like that. So you can leverage marketing automation to help follow up with web forms within the first 2 minutes. So when a form gets submitted, you want to have a text message, hit them right away. Hey John, thanks for your information on our website. Somebody from our office will reach out momentarily or as soon as possible. Or I'm out on a job right now. I will text you back if you want to text, or you can call, text me, whatever. You can just get that message out to them within minutes to help stop them in their tracks if they're going to continue on and get frustrated and find somebody else. You can automate that follow up so that every prospect is touched 5+ times on a consistent basis, doing two-way messaging if you want. And leverage email marketing. Send an email after every service call requesting a review. Send an email every few days after service asking them to engage on social media. Send out a monthly email newsletter. Remain top of mind. You get those referrals in more frequently, more often. So check down on your email marketing and make sure you've got some automation in place. We actually have a workflow and sequence built out specifically for generator dealers, hooked up with ServiceTitan, hooked up with House Call Pro, hooked up with Service Fusion, and there's several others that we have connected already, pre-built systems, pipelines, marketing, all that other stuff. And you can actually get a demo for that. Just reach out to me. And now make sure you have the right tools in place to track your ROI. So you spending all this money, where's it going? This is probably one of the most important things you could be doing. So there are tools in place. Watch trends with Google Analytics, track your online ranking for important keywords, and consider call tracking number on the site, right? And use a CRM in place so you can track it a little bit more efficiently and effectively through an automated CRM. Here's our accelerated growth model. I'm going to kind of burn through this a little bit. We are running out of time. I'm sorry. We got a few minutes left. Hang in there. So, our accelerated growth model, 3 things you need to focus on a regular basis: drive leads, maximize conversion, optimize results. Do this on repeat. When you're driving leads, we're thinking website, we're thinking paid search, we're thinking database, email marketing, reaching out to past customers, right? You have a database of these customers. Utilize that, message them, get in front of them. Maximize your conversion. Focus on your website, focus on your reputation, focus on some automation, build in some automation, make sure that you're constantly communicating with them. Optimize your results, know how much you're spending on a monthly basis, okay? Make sure you know what that average cost per lead is. Maybe Google Ads is somewhere around $150 cost per lead. This is a high quality lead. Facebook ads should be somewhere around $60 a lead for an installation, okay? If you think that's expensive, think about how much money they're paying. $15,000. So it's gonna take a little bit of time and money to get these leads in the door. And then organically, like a referral lead, is not going to cost you anything, but that's going to be a very high quality lead. So make sure that you know what the cost per lead is and have a return on your investment. Spend $3,000. These were the 10 leads I got. These are the 2 customers I got. $30,000 in revenue. What did I say? $3,000 turned out to be $30,000. Beautiful. Move on to the next month. Make sure you got these numbers dialed in. In this workbook too are some pages for self-assessment on the accelerated growth model. Fill in these with color, right? Red, yellow, green. We have a blue here, red, yellow, blue. And this way you have a visual, okay, on how you're doing in each of these aspects. Organic SEO, paid search, database. How are you doing in each one of them? Let's put a color on there, right? Doing great on organic SEO. My website is beautiful. I get good ranking. Paid search, I'm running 1 campaign. It's not doing so great. Need to focus on that. And database, not doing any email. So make sure that you're looking at the red here. Here's the other side for maximizing conversion. Website, I think there's a few things, but it looks great and it's mobile responsive and it's got the form, phone number, chat. You're good. My reputation needs some work. I'm only getting 1 review a month. No good. 5 reviews a week. That's what you want. And we're not running any automation. Okay. Now you know where to focus, right? ROI, you know how much you're spending, but you have no idea what your average cost per lead is, and you have no idea what your ROI is. Those are 2 red flags right there. It's like 50% of my marketing is working. I just don't know which 50%, right? So make sure that you know how all of this is working and how everything is coming out. So scan this code, schedule an accelerated session with us, and we will do an audit on your market. against your competitors and look at how you guys are displayed, how you guys come across on the internet, and we'll make some recommendations where the opportunity is, if there's opportunity. And you know what? And if you feel that, hey, John, you guys know what you're doing. I would much rather you guys handle all this for us. We have a full program that we know works for generator dealers in the United States, in any state where we're seeing, we're getting experience in all the different, in a lot of different markets. So just reach out to us and we'll, maybe if it's a good fit, we'll be happy to share our program with you and work with you. And that's it. I'll stick around for a couple of minutes if anybody's got any questions, or if they want to go over anything specific. But that's basically it. That is our mid-year checkup, everybody. So I hope you get this lead flow dialed in. And for all the people that aren't here, I'm certain that you got your lead flow dialed in and you guys are good to go. So hopefully your things are working out. If not, just reach out to me anytime. Be sure to listen to our podcast. It's on our website, generatorseo.com. We launch a new podcast every month. Would love for you to be a guest on our podcast too, so reach out. We'd love to talk to you about the generator industry, the dealer industry. Um, we've had 5 episodes so far. Hopefully, many more to come. All right. Thanks, everybody. It was a lot of fun, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.